Okay, welcome into PFF TV. Sam Monson here with Dr. Eric Eager. And the doctor is important because he's about to explain to me why I'm an idiot, Eric. You wrote an article.
I thought it was going to be because we were going to, heal the Colts.
You wrote an article on Pro Football Focus explaining to us all why the Colts are going to be the team in the ascendancy over the next few years and maybe even make a surprise run at a Super Bowl. And okay, I see Andrew Luck. I see some good coaching there. Frank Reich, I think they've made some big strides on both sides of the ball. What else is there?
Yeah, I mean, I just think, Chris Ballard coming in from Kansas City, just the process has been in place. It looks like, they do a lot of the things well, and it all starts with the quarterback, right? It all starts with Andrew Luck. Having Andrew Luck in their back pocket last year allowed them to trade back from 3 to 6, accumulate multiple second-round picks in the process, and they used those second-round picks to get quality players this season ago. They weren't the most talented team in the NFL, but they certainly made the most of it. Last year they were 8th defensively, and EPA allowed. Matt Eberflus, the DC, did a great job, but they were only 22nd in success rate allowed, meaning they were limiting big plays, right? As you guys talked about, their scheme defensively really limited the effect of a lot of their deficiencies defensively. Andrew Luck, eventually was, able to emerge from his shoulder issue and became the 3rd most valuable quarterback in the NFL. So you have those two things paired up, and then they go into this offseason, and instead of sort of using all that cap space they had, they got good deals. They got Justin Houston, they got Devin Funchess. They did really smart things. They re-signed some veterans along the offensive line. And so I just see they continue to do the right things. And in a division that can often be pretty weak in the AFC South, I think that's going to bode well for them for the future.
Yeah, I think that's a huge thing in their favor. Andrew Luck obviously is the single biggest thing in their favor. Yep. We've seen over his career that he is one of those quarterbacks single-handedly capable of essentially dragging pretty much any roster to the playoffs, and then obviously once you get to the playoffs, it's any team can make a run and make things happen. You only need to win a few games at that point to be in the Super Bowl to get yourself a championship. So with Andrew Luck in the building, obviously the Colts have always got a shot. I'm going to be fascinated to see in particular what the defense does going forward, because in the NFL, having a scheme is one thing, showing the evolution of that scheme and being able to change and develop and not get caught out by teams catching up with what you're doing is big.
Yeah, and I think that's important. Looking at their offseason this year, they had a good year defensively despite a lot of talent deficiencies. So they go in and they get a Justin Houston who can be an elite player at the edge, and then they get Rocky Ya-Sin in the 2nd round, knowing that, again, Pierre Desir had a good year last year, but you can't quite be sure of these defensive backs and how they're going to play year to year. So stocking up on some good players. Obviously, Darius Leonard had a great rookie year. So I think they're just doing smart things. And here's the deal. They have over $50 million in open cap space this year. Next year, it's going to be $90 million, right? So there's going to be a time when they see, say they're ready to make a Super Bowl run, and much like the Rams did a season ago, much like we've seen Philadelphia do at times, when they hit the go button, they're going to have a ton of resources to build around Luck, who again we showed last year was capable of carrying a team on his back, winning a playoff game on the road, et cetera, et cetera. It's not just he's not just one of those quarterbacks that's getting paid a huge sum where the rest of the roster stinks as a result. He's being paid a huge sum. He's playing like that, and they have the resources to eventually pounce. So while this season I think I got him at about a 4% chance to win the Super Bowl, I'm thinking more toward the future. They're building a process here where I think eventually they're going to have one of the best rosters, coupled with the best quarterbacks and a pretty good coach moving forward.
And then, of course, the biggest X factor moving forward is that at some point, Tom Brady is going to retire, and the AFC is suddenly blown wide open. Anybody has a shot. The Colts may be best positioned of anybody to take advantage of that and assume the mantle of the best team in the AFC. That's the doctor explaining to us all why the Colts are going to be one of the best teams in the AFC moving forward and a true Super Bowl championship contender heading forward. Consider us all educated.